You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Yeah, welcome to it. Officially, it is Dial It In Day. Where no one is trying very hard at anything today.
It doesn't seem like it, no.
No. People are just really going through the motions. Our head boss is out of town, and people around here they could not care less about what they're doing.
The biggest way you can be able to tell that people are not working is when they are here in sandals, and this is the salespeople, then they're here in sandals and like V-necks and stuff like that. That's how you know the boss is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody's dressed like they're going to a cookout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's still 4th of July.
It's still 4th of July. Yeah, so we're going to do our best here, but I don't know how good it's going to go because I've already drank a couple crowlers, so might keep drinking. I don't know. You know, why not? What the hell, man?
Hopefully you don't have any meetings or anything like that.
Dial It In Day. No. I'm good. I think the only thing I can do is I can get my fake hair worked on. That's about it. So.
Fair enough. All right, well.
But you don't have to be sober for that.
I was going to say, you don't have to do anything. It's not like it's not a surgical procedure.
No, I got nothing big.
Okay.
Doing dinner tonight, and my mother-in-law really wants to go to Olive Garden, and we're just like,
you guys hitting up all the special places.
Gosh, man, I don't know.
They have make-your-own lasagna now.
Were you really going to make your own lasagna?
I don't know. I'm just saying. They used
That's
to have
what
the
they call
create
it?
your own pasta. Now they have a create your own lasagna.
Oh, it's create your okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're going back.
No. You're not back there.
No, that's a
cooking
restaurant
up
that's
it.
actually really dialing it in.
I mean, not
Come
only
here, we're not
not even only dialing it in too. It's like you're just making your own food.
And the kitchen's open. We're not going to make anything.
Yeah, we're good.
Come in, make it happen. Yeah, so here we go on Dial It In Day. You can see even just flipping onto the sports channels, they're dialing it in. It's their Dial It In Day because they got really nothing to talk about except rehash stuff about LeBron still, what's going on with the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, a couple things maybe of interest to talk about there. One of the big talking points today that's going on is LeBron and the fact that he has not even contacted his coach, Luke Walton, yet. That's the big talking point. Are there problems already? Like I said, it's Dial It In Day.
I mean,
they're trying to figure some kind of talking point about what is going on because there's really nothing else to talk about.
Some type of clickbait situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it really makes much of a difference.
No, it doesn't at all. I mean, why is this even a difference? And the whole thing, the concept of the coach in the NBA is a freaking joke anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I was just reading an article yesterday about just even look at the Eastern Conference, and there's like maybe 5 coaches that have survived over 3 years, Spoelstra being one of them, but they said that's basically it. It's, it's been that way for a while, that it is a player-driven league and coaches need not apply.
I mean, to a point, yes. When you have a situation where you have LeBron and LeBron does what he does, then yes, at that point in time, it makes kind of no sense to have it.
It's few and far between. You've got Brad Stevens in Boston. You've got in San Antonio with Pop. You got a situation there.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
where do you have where there's really a coach that's got clout that can pull some weight on any of these teams? And you look at the Lakers right now. Do you think Luke Walton carries any kind of weight?
I have no clue. I don't know if we've ever seen him coach to his full capacity. He's never had a full capacity team.
I think you're going to see if he carries any weight.
Well, this is the thing, is that I don't think you're going to.
He's never had that major superstar that has really come in. He's had to contest with. And here you talk about he and LeBron, they're only 5 years apart in age. They were both in the same draft class in 2003.
I was going to say, yeah, he was picked 31 picks after.
31 picks after LeBron. And so LeBron's probably walking in saying, look, I know more about the sport than you. I'm better than you. I was picked ahead of you. And don't stand in my way. That's it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
This is the unfortunate part for Luke Walton, is that you'll never really know whether Luke Walton can coach until he leaves that team, because the reality of the situation of having LeBron on that team is that Luke Walton had really nobody prior to him coming, and then once he gets there, everybody assumes that everything that was a good coaching move was most likely LeBron manipulating the coach.
Absolutely.
So once Luke Walton leaves and has his own team and has a star that is not a coach manipulator like he's tended to be, then you'll actually see. So you may never see if Luke Walton can actually coach.
I think Magic's probably going to go to Luke and say, look, your number one job, if they keep Zoe, that is if they keep him, is keep LeVar away from LeBron. That's the I just want you to I want to make sure that you keep LeBron happy. And to me, I think the first immediate agitator is going to be LeVar Ball. And that's going to be the biggest thing. That's why I just can't even I'm actually surprised this trade hasn't happened yet. I mean, LeVar Ball again popping off again saying that he just can't shut up, this guy. He said if all three of his sons were on the Lakers with LeBron James, and they would win 2 championships. Wow. Like, bam.
I'm surprised that he
guarantees it. He guarantees it, which that means a lot.
I'm surprised he said only 2.
Yeah.
I mean, considering I figured he would go off the PR marketing move, going not 1, not 2, not 3, but he actually just went with 2. That's actually it's respectable almost to him.
And what does a guarantee mean coming from anybody who's a complete tool?
I mean, yeah, too.
I guarantee. Who are you? What?
Yeah, first
what
of all,
do
you
do?
took your kids out of UCLA to go play in Uzbekistan. That didn't work out. Then you try to get them drafted. They didn't get drafted.
How much are you trying to sell that stupid shoe for that nobody bought?
It's like $300 and some odd. Some people did actually buy it, and you would receive it in about 6 months after you actually ordered it. And it may be wrong, but if it's wrong, no return
How
policy.
dumb are you if you bought that shoe?
Yeah, I don't understand anybody who would have done it.
Yeah.
I would like usually you see like celebrities with like LeBrons or Jordans or anything like that. I don't remember a picture of a celebrity with a Zoe.
No, no,
maybe
nobody
just Zoe. And what's really funny is actually in Summer League when Zoe had the shoes out, he didn't even wear them when he played. He played.
There's a couple flaws in the marketing.
He played in
plan
LeBron's, which was the funniest thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of
also
dumb.
Stupid.
It really is
it's
stupid.
So dumb. He's so dumb. LeVar Ball is so dumb, and so that's probably it, Luke. Well, your job is to try to keep LeVar Ball away from LeBron, because obviously LeBron's not going to put up with the dumbness.
No, it's
the stupidity.
It's
so
a
just
nightmare.
keep him away from me.
He's an absolute nightmare to deal with. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's like behind closed doors. He seems like a human cartoon character as of right now, but LeBron doesn't seem like he deals with that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how long he's on there. And this is just like people like freaking out over JaVale McGee and Rondo and everything like that. Nobody knows what the hell's going on except for what's going on. Except for Magic Johnson and LeBron. Most likely the only 2 people, maybe Luke Walton, actually have an idea of what they're trying to do.
It's going to be interesting. I assume I'm going to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt because he's been nothing but dialed in his entire career. But walking into L.A., he's got a lot more distractions than he's ever had. And it's not just LeVar. It's, now really I think for the first time he's going to have a sideline career. He's really apparently got a lot of projects going on in Hollywood.
Still waiting for that Space Jam trailer. I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's happening.
No.
I think we've been hoodwinked.
He's a big joke.
He's so
big
stupid.
ruse.
It's just so dumb.
But, I mean, this is, I think, been the plan for a while. They're saying that he actually bought his second home in November. So I think for a while, deep down, he and his wife have really known what was going on. I mean, these aren't small homes. 15,000, almost a 16,000 square foot. I mean, this isn't like, okay, this is just like a hobby. This is 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 4 fireplaces, 10-car garage, theater.
Does it get that cold to have 4 fireplaces?
I know. That's what I was wondering, too.
L.A. It's pretty moderate temperature.
Pretty much.
It's like the best job in the world has to be the weatherman in L.A.
Well, I have that here. I go into some South Florida homes. I'm like, why do you have a fireplace?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them, like out in West Boca, a lot of houses are like that.
Why?
That was always so.
Yeah.
I actually lived in an apartment in Central Boca that had a fireplace in an apartment.
Really?
I was like, what the hell is the point of this?
Yeah.
With a chimney and everything. They had to come do maintenance on it. I'm like, maintenance? Who the hell uses this thing?
And this can't be good in a hurricane. I'd imagine you'd have like just random things.
You have to shut the, what the hell the thing, the Louvre, or what the hell it's called? I have no idea what it's called.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was a real pain.
Yeah. So he's got all the other stuff you'd want. Wine cellar, cigar room, gym.
I mean,
spa.
What would you expect?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty normal stuff. But I mean, this is something that he's embracing the superstar life that he has just embodied his entire life. But you know what? I think that one of the things about LeBron that's really, really cool is that he's never been in trouble. He's been with the same girl since high school.
No, it is.
Like, he does a lot of charity work. Like, even Michael Jordan had the gambling thing. He had the bouncing out to be able to go play baseball. There's always the conspiracy theory of his dad. The reason why his dad died was he was murdered over his gambling debts. Like, none of that stuff has ever come out about LeBron.
No.
And he's really spick and span, this guy.
Do you see a new chapter with LeBron? I think it's probably the biggest question that I'm wondering. Will he appear a little bit more distracted? Will his body appear like it's finally starting to show some weaknesses and aging?
Yeah.
Considering how many games he played. He's not going to have a better cast around him, it doesn't look like, than what he had in Cleveland. So you can't expect more on this. So losses combined with more distractions, will you start to see any kind of decline in his game?
It depends. I mean, he doesn't have a Kevin Love. That's true. But that's really all he was working with last year, and he wound up making it to the finals, was basically just a Kevin Love and a bunch of role players.
Right.
So as long as he gets that Kevin Love at some point in time, that player that's going to play that role of a second banana, I think he'll be fine. I mean, I don't think he's going to make it to the finals because he's not going to get past that monster of a juggernaut, the Golden State Warriors, especially now they get Boogie, too.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say that he would do anything if the Golden State Warriors let anything up. The only thing that I could see happening is if he can last long enough for Klay Thompson to move on, and then maybe he might have an issue. He may have an opportunity, I mean.
Yeah.
But I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, coming up here in just a bit on the show, Miami Marlins. The biggest fireworks actually happened in the dugout. If you saw the Rays coming into town, did you see that dude that just teed off on the coolers?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't hit a ball. Can't hit a cooler.
And big question I got here, looking at Lewis Brinson, when do the Marlins finally punt on this guy?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough
Is it
one.
time to send this cat down? I'll let you know just how bad it is coming up next.
It's Derek Jeter's favorite sports show, just like Derek Jeter is Florida's favorite owner. Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Miami Marlins welcoming in the Rays last couple of days. The two lowest drawing teams in Major League Baseball.
Just meet up, and they're both in Florida.
Putting on a
Does that say something?
spectacle, yes. No, there's something to that. I'd say without a doubt. Yeah, they rebounded from their 9-6 loss in 16 innings on Tuesday. Beat the Rays yesterday 3-0. It was the Marlins' fifth in their last 7. A little bit of a spurt here. Second straight series victory for the Marlins, who are now 36-52. Still a good bit under 500. But the .409 winning percentage they got right now is the highest for Miami since it was 2-2 on April 1st.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. That's something positive for them.
I can't believe you keep finding positivity in this.
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing that I really want to see out of the Marlins is what we were talking about on Tuesday is, are you going to see the Marlins following the path of what they did in Houston, what you're seeing this year with the Atlanta Braves? Or are you going to see what happened with the New York Mets, where they just everything the Mets do seems to be a disaster? I mean, you know,
at least the Mets peaked at one point in time.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, you can argue. I mean, in the last 15 years, what the Marlins have, okay, you got what, 97, you got 2003. Since 2003, how many World Series wins do the Mets have?
I don't think they have any.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, but at least they got to a point. They just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
I mean, that's considering where this is. Like, I'm pretty sure Marlins fans would enjoy to the point.
It's just, you know, I think considering, the Marlins got their problems, obviously, and they don't have any superstars right now, but the Mets just seem to have – it's frustrating to be a Mets fan because, you know, they've got pitchers like DeGrom, you know, but it's just frustrating that they can't seem to get the wins. And then you see situations like with Matt Harvey. You see he's on fire now in Cincinnati. I think what it is with Matt Harvey is this guy, you can't have him any place that's fun.
Yeah.
He can only play in cities where there's probably nothing to do because he actually concentrates on his baseball.
That's the J.R. Smith mentality.
And then he's actually good. So he can only play in Kansas City, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. There's like 3 markets he can play in because you send him to New York and he goes crazy.
Well, like, I mean, that's the short and skinny of it. I mean, send him to Seattle or something like that, he might be able to do well. But that's exactly what happened with J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was in Denver and he played well, and then he came to New York and he played like horse pucky. Actually, he played good 1 year. He won 6th Man of the Year, but everything else was a disaster, and he bounced out from the playoffs because he was doing cocaine with Rihanna, but whatever. And then he went to Cleveland.
See, Rihanna ain't going to go to Cincinnati.
No.
Rihanna ain't going to go to Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then he came to Cleveland, and they won a championship. I mean, obviously not on his back, but still he played well.
He does great in cities where there's nothing to do.
Yeah. Or this could also be a testament to the locker room status of the Mets. Because if you have a guy that's that good, play that well for as long as he have, then all of a sudden slumps, and you're like, man, this guy's a bum. You send him off, and he goes right back to the way he was. You're like, maybe there's a rift in the locker room.
Yeah,
there.
the Mets seem to have this cloud, and it's just got to be really frustrating because, you got some pieces, you got the money, you got the major market, you got everything you could, you think you would need to have a successful ball club. But, I mean, they were right down there in the cellar with the Marlins, who have a much, lighter payroll and I would say a better upside. I think that I'm more optimistic more optimistic about the Marlins' future over the Mets.
Also, you want that out of the Marlins. What you're hoping for, if you're trying to be any bit optimistic about the Marlins in the first place, is you're hoping for that Sandlot mentality. Like, you're hoping for the classic underdogs band together, fight together for a cause, all for one type of thing. And I think that's kind of what they're doing with what Derek Jeter's trying to make this team realize, is that it's a team effort. Like when he was on the Yankees, it was a team effort.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was him and Robinson Cano. And I mean, like he had players with him.
In baseball, you want to support your brother when they're not playing their best. And say, hey, look, man, we're here for you. We get it. Baseball's a streaky sport. You're hot, you're cold, whatever. But looking at Lewis Brinson, who number one prospect that they had, in the trades that they made, and we're expecting a lot of this guy. And, I mean, here we are pretty much at the All-Star break. He's hitting 186. Yeah. He's got nearly twice as many strikeouts as hits. And among the qualified major league hitters, his .570 on-base plus slugging percentage is the third worst in baseball. So there is something about saying, hey, man, we got you during the streak, but then at what point do you just finally say, I'm sorry, man, this guy is not good or he's not a major leaguer? I mean, how far do you go? Do you give him a complete season?
I mean, at this point in time, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, and maybe that's just what it is. I mean, the Marlins are in a nice place right now with your young talent where it's like saying, hey, look, we don't have the pressure on. No one's expecting us to win.
That's
so
why.
We're okay, but I mean, still, even with low expectations, at what point do you say 186?
Yeah,
It's not going to cut it, man.
I think you do have to take it into the offseason and then look at what's going to happen. What's going to happen next year? What are they going to do? Who are they going to bring up? Who can they trade for? Who would be interesting? I mean, I don't know who would be interested in Marlins as a free agency destination, but if they're making it seem good with money, it might be something that you may look at or get him up to a point, because this is what a lot of times that in all sports they do, is they'll have a player they think is going to be good, they start to go down, and then all they do is try and rehab him and to get to a point where it's like, this is exactly what we expected from him, now we're going to trade him. And that could be a situation brewing there too.
Yeah. If he's still hitting 186, do you bring Lewis Brinson back next year?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
But you might be able to package him, to be, as a salary dump or something like that, depending.
Well, and the problem, too, is he's now on the DL. He's got some hip issues. And that's his only thing, is he's fast in the outfield. And he's 24 years old, and he's already showing signs of breaking down.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been an experiment that has just gone wrong immediately.
Yeah.
And it's happened tons of times, but the odds of him coming back after the offseason, is he gone for the year?
No, it's just going to be a temporary thing.
I think he's on a 10-day, right?
10-day DL,
So he's on a 10-day DL. He comes back. If he starts to play a little bit better and stuff like that, they may look to move him before anything, because he could grow into something under the right management. And management sometimes realizes that they can't be able to get through to players and may know other management that can get through to certain players.
Somebody nearly as bad as Brinson, Carlos Gomez on the other side for the Rays. He's hitting 195, 7 homers, 17 RBIs, and threw a tantrum in the second inning. He says he got hit on the hand trying to bunt, should have been on first base. Then, to top it off, add insult to injury, strikes out in that at-bat, and then he shows a pretty solid swing when he gets in the dugout. I mean, honestly,
I'd say the form was really good.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have connected, if there was a ball at the end of that bat instead of a cooler, I mean, that ball he'd have hit it 10 times over the fence.
Yeah, if that was full of balls, it would have been about 16, 17 home runs.
Oh, it was very. He's got an impressive
swing. I don't know what that
swing.
cooler did to him, but Jesus, what the best thing about it was, what the hell was in that cooler that the cooler didn't move?
It was water. It was full of water. Yeah,
but it just inched along and slowly broke apart. But you would figure somebody takes a full swing, especially a professional baseball player, that thing's gonna fly in the air.
It's a great endorsement for that cooler. Whoever it is, I don't know who makes that, but that would be my commercial today.
Oh yeah,
I would take Carlos Gomez beating the hell out of our cooler, and it's standing up to his hardest swings.
They should just superimpose their logo onto the front of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Release the clip. Yeah,
not that you would do this to our cooler, but you can.
Exactly. Just in case
Yeah.
Carlos Gomez just happens to
Right.
end up in your pool party
Yeah.
with a baseball bat after a strikeout, after complaining of getting a hit on the hand after a bunt, you'll be fine.
Do you love or hate baseball tantrums?
I
Good
love
for the
baseball.
sport. I do too. I love them too.
There's no fun. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of I mean, like that shows like passion.
It does, but I mean, there's only part of me because I'm such a bad dad that there's a part of me that sometimes says, well, you probably shouldn't champion that because it's showing your kid.
Well,
But like I said, I'm not a very good dad, so I still love them. So they're fantastic.
I mean, I think it's fun. I think that's one of the things that like Bryce Harper was saying a couple of years when he was wearing that hat looked like a MAGA hat, said make baseball fun again. Like those type of things, like people want to see that. They want to see you celebrate when you're happy, and they want to see you throw a tantrum when you're mad.
You got to have emotions.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
do. Good to the bad.
If you suck all the emotion out of it,
Right.
then all you have is just the numbers.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody's getting emotional over algebra.
Yeah.
You know
Then it's golf.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's like, but even golf has emotion.
And what do we love at golf? We love at golf when the guy chucks his club into the water hazard.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
the great stuff about any kind of sport. Tantrums, baby. Got to tell you, oddly enough, I watched some bizarre sports. I think 4th of July is all about that. Mm-hmm. Man, I got so locked into a cornhole tournament yesterday.
Me too, at E.R. Bradley's.
Oh, my gosh. It was like, I'm captivating. I was into it. And maybe one of the greatest things in sport, hot dog eating championship. We'll break down the greatness next.
You can tell his wife. Just don't tell those other guys. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Joey Chestnut, a legend. It continues with number 11 at Nathan's.
The Roger Federer of food.
Yes,
with 11.
Unofficially at 64, but we believe there may be a scoring discrepancy.
Joey Chestnut, as certified by Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez, a new world record.
Wow.
74
Oh, my-
Nathan's
what?
famous hot dog.
Oh, my gosh.
He's done it. Absolutely incredible. Joey Chestnut has the new world record.
I mean, we're talking about a dude that is cramming hot dogs into his face. And we get that kind of electrifying play-by-play.
Yeah, it's kind of insane that's where we stand now. I don't understand the whole appeal behind the Nathan hot dog eating contest. I don't like when people do that with food. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's disgusting, but I got to tell you, man, it's 10 minutes. It's kind of awesome in a sense. How's it not awesome?
It's just disgusting.
It is disgusting.
I love food so much. I
Yeah.
love food. To see you dip a hot dog bun in water to be able to squeeze it down your
But
gullet.
it's anything you can do, man. I mean, it's you're
when you see
digging.
Matt Stoney jumping around and everything
It's
like
fantastic.
that.
It's trying to get that thing down.
It's disgusting.
It's a crazy strategy. I got to tell you, just looking at what these guys put into these eating competitions, they got to stay lean because the physics of competitive eating, you can't have a lot of body fat because your stomach's got to expand. And if you got fat in front of it, it pushes back on the expansion of your stomach. So these guys have to maintain. I mean, these guys are true athletes. I mean, what they put into it, it's amazing. It's 10 minutes of, everything. You just throw everything out the window, man. I mean, you do whatever you can. You're grappling, you're fighting, you're trying to choke it down for 10 minutes. Oh, it brings me in. And then you got that element, will the guy barf? I saw that one time. This guy was trying to hold it in, and barf was spraying out the sides of his hand. It was just, but he was so committed. He was trying to take his barf and eat it back.
Oh, come on. Stop. God.
He told him you're done. I'm just like, it's unbelievable.
That's disgusting.
Oh, listen to the hype here. They're talking
Everybody
about
just pulled over to puke.
Oh, this guy. But 11 times. There's nobody. He is.
Yeah.
He's the greatest of
food eater.
There's no one that has been greater in any sport than Joey Chestnut in the dominance he has over the competition. You could have taken 10 off his tally and he still would have won. Has anyone ever dominated a sport more than Joey Chestnut in competitive eating? And I call it a sport because it is a sport.
I don't know. I don't look at these people as food people. I will give
They're
acknowledgement
athletes.
to food people when they cook it. When you just eat it fast, I don't
Oh,
get
there's
it.
skill, there's technique.
Although I have watched Matt Stoney's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he eats crazy stuff on it.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Like
It's
4-pound gummy worms.
Oh, it's yeah.
It's just like
It's oddly captivating. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but especially 4th of July, man. I got sucked into a cornhole tournament they had on afterwards, and I just like it was it like
wasn't the World Cup on yesterday?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
but-
go to ER Bradley's. The only thing that was on by the bar was that
Was cornhole.
cornhole. I couldn't believe it.
I think it's commentary on where the World Cup is. I mean, I've been trying to get a little bit into it. I really put time in on Sunday. I watched 2 matches tied 1-1, go 116 minutes, and then the shootout. And I think a lot of Americans just walk away saying, wait, there's not a quicker way to do this. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you look at 10 intense minutes of hot dog eating. It's like, okay, hey, if you'd have cut out the 116 minutes of like nonsense, and I know soccer is like nonsense. It's not the
Yeah, I know,
artistry.
it's
It's
artistry.
it's a dance.
Well,
It's
that's it.
a-
That's the thing. That's the conversation I have with a lot of people at basketball, because a lot of people, they say with basketball, you only have to watch the last 2 minutes, and it enrages me because I'm like, no, it's a dance. Like there is moments, there are peaks and valleys in the emotion of the game. People look at me like I have 7 heads, but
There
it's
are runs,
reality of it.
yeah, there are runs that get you there. You could say that. And I'm sure-
It's a momentum-based game, but so is soccer.
Yeah, and I understand what it is for me, there's probably just, the lack of understanding creates that apathy that you have, but Americans have it. They say the ratings are disastrously low in America, 42% down from 4 years ago.
Wow. Well, because also 4 years ago, we were in it.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal.
I think it's a huge thing. Because this is a big patriotic thing. If you're from Russia, you're like, Russia! From Spain,
Okay, well,
España!
If you're
But here, it's
FIFA,
like,
should
okay.
you consider saying we need to look, hey, they do this when it comes to major markets in America. We break it down and say, look, it's a lot better when we've got major cities playing in these championships. Should FIFA say, hey, look, let's look at the 5 biggest countries as far as viewerships or potential TVs and viewerships and say, you guys are grandfathered in. I don't care how bad you suck.
Because then you're kind of diminishing the sport at that point. I mean,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
well,
the World Cup.
You're
countries
diminishing your
against
viewership.
Well, I mean, but you know what? But FIFA is making hand over a fist. They are a communistic style business that is completely sucked up.
How much money are you making out of America right now?
They don't give a crap. You know how much money they're making over in every other country but America?
But if you could somehow turn America onto soccer, and imagine if America liked soccer like they liked football, how much money that would mean.
The governing body of FIFA doesn't care.
They really don't care about trying to win America over to soccer.
Listen,
You're telling me
it's
they
one
would
of those-
walk away from that kind of money and be like, we don't care.
They're not
going to
walk away from it. They know it's never going to go away. And if it winds up
But
being a big
way,
thing,
if you could find a way to make, because wouldn't that be the billion trillion dollar question? If you could figure out how to turn America into soccer fanatics,
I mean,
that's
they did it
big
4
deal.
years ago, but USA has to be in it.
Okay,
and
well, then give 'em an automatic
well,
bid.
that's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, but it's like you can't
Find a
do
way.
that. But they should find a way to encourage them to be a little bit better. How can you be a little bit better? And if you this is what's really funny is that there's a lot of players that are on U.S. MLS teams that play for other countries as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
So I mean, why not being able to make those great players play on the U.S. team? It's not all U.S. teams. Plus, also there's massive U.S. players that don't play in the MLS. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's a strange dichotomy between the world and American soccer.
Yeah.
But I mean, American soccer, yes, it has its tendencies to be good, but it's just not enough pull yet. It's still a baby sport here. Like the MLS is fairly new. They're
But is
just
it
adding.
is it
teams.
heading in the right direction?
I
Because
think it is heading in the right direction, but I mean, I guarantee you people said this about football when it first started or basketball when it first started.
Yeah.
Is it really doing what we want it to do? And then it created a legacy for itself, and boom, and then now you have what you have. But I mean, soccer's eventually getting there.
Okay.
But I think Florida has a really big issue with it. Orlando City, they're fine. They're doing really good
Yeah.
with soccer up there. They think that this is going to work down in Miami. They got another thing coming.
You don't think it will?
because you have
I'm
two
more
major
optimistic
baseball
than you, oddly
teams. You
enough.
have two major baseball teams.
Yeah.
And the only draw for one of the two major baseball teams is the fact that they have to play the Yankees in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get people to come to those Yankee
World
games.
Baseball Classic does great. I
World
think,
Baseball Classic does do great.
I,
that should show you that nobody cares here in Florida. They care about other places.
I think Miami's doing the right thing. They really seem to be going after that true soccer crowd and Hispanics. Which, I mean, if you're going to make it work, that's what you got to do, right?
I mean, technically, yes.
Everything, it seems like they're not pulling any punches. Gringo, hey, we ain't after you. We're after people that are Hispanic and they know soccer and they love it.
I mean, yeah.
And you got to only fill a 24,000-seat stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But, but the Panthers took the same exact route. They said, hey, hockey's kind of like soccer. Why don't we get more Hispanics into it? And it didn't work
It's
out.
not cold in South America.
Well, I mean, I
don't
understand
have
that.
ice.
I understand
You
that.
know?
But what I'm saying is I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to Americanize the sport and then hope that the people that brought the sport to America are going to enjoy it. And the reality is they're not.
So you think Miami's going to be a failed experiment for soccer?
Yeah, I honestly think that sports is a very tough thing in Florida.
It is.
The only thing that works is football.
Yeah.
And that's only because the NFL has done a damn
The
good
Heat
job.
worked when they were good.
Heat work, yes, okay, but that's what I'm saying is that the teams here only work when they're good, when there's worth something rooting
Yeah.
for. The Dolphins, even though they suck, will still get major
Okay.
people coming out.
Okay.
But they'll get a bigger crowd than the Panthers,
Yeah.
than the Marlins, than
But
the
in
Heat.
terms of NFL stadiums and the attendance, it doesn't seem like they're winning.
No, I mean it's not crazy.
When you
but
watch a
their
Dolphins
TV
game on
numbers are
TV,
still good. You'll
yeah.
still see a bunch of,
Yeah.
but you're not going to see a bunch of Marlins fans go clamor. Hey, where's the Marlins game? Where's the Heat game? No, because they're irrelevant to a point because they're not winning. They don't have the big players on them
Yeah.
anymore. People tuned into the Marlins to see Giancarlo Stanton. People tuned into the Heat in order to be able to see LeBron James. Right now, they just tune into the Dolphins because they're a Dolphins fan, and that's what football has done. The NFL are consummate professionals when it comes to making sure that their sport is relevant, and soccer hasn't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to work out here until they get it figured out in other markets.
Shout out to the Williams sisters. They're cruising through Wimbledon right now onto the third round. Bam.
Nice.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Did you see that deal that Federer signed? He was only making like $13.6 million a year from Nike, and this Japanese clothing giant comes to him and says, hey, we'll give you a little bit of a raise. He went from making $13.6 million a year endorsing Nike, dumped them for $446 million.
Whoa.
That's ridiculous. I mean, what a hello.
Strange.
That's
it really
a
is.
ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
He was making already $157 million that he's done just in what he's made in prize money. They say now he's going to have nearly $1 billion in these sponsorships. He's richer than Kim Kardashian, Elton John, and even the Queen of England.
The Queen of England.
Yeah, Federer has more money than the Queen of England now.
I mean, that's a
That's pretty impressive stuff,
hashtag
huh?
bucket list.
Yeah, dude's 36, advances at Wimbledon.
Pretty good.
Pretty good stuff. And this is even if he stops playing tennis, he still has this endorsement deal.
That's just true.
That's pretty cush.
Wow.
Coming up here in a couple minutes, do super teams suck, and is New York about to get one soon? We'll discuss next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
I'm throwing this in there because I know Knicks fans want to hear about it, and I know Ricky Bobby wants to talk about it.
I mean, I didn't see this in the prep, so I'm interested to see what this is about.
Okay, well, what is going on right now is supposed chatter that the New York Knicks could see a super team in just one more season. Apparently, Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler are talking about playing together, and they want to go to one of the big originals, and they would love to be in New York, major market. Try to boost up the Eastern Conference, think they'd have an easier road. They would just have to get through Boston, Philly, who knows what they're going to wind up putting together. But that seems to be the deal. Now, Kyrie's got just this one more year in Boston, then he's going to be a free agent. Jimmy Butler apparently can't stand Minnesota, hates his teammates, and is ready to get
He
out.
probably hates his coach. His coach is running him into the damn ground. Tom
Yeah.
Thibodeau had that issue with Chicago where he just ran everybody into the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be it.
Well, apparently he wants out, and they say, hey, let's go team up with Porzingis, and let's put together a super team in New York.
Okay, well, what's the other part of the super team? Because it sure as hell is not Porzingis.
Well, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, Porzingis. That's what they got right now.
That's what they call a super team.
That's what they got right now. But keep in mind, you know,
well, I mean, you make yourself a destination.
Look at Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
He comes loose next year too. Okay, now do you like that?
I mean, I do. Of course I do.
Is that a super team at that point? If you throw Kawhi in there with those three.
I would put a super team. I
You
wouldn't say a super team. No, because Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's really good, and he was looked at as a major piece.
Is Kyrie Irving not at that level?
No, Kyrie Irving definitely is,
Okay.
and Kawhi Leonard definitely
Okay.
is. But I think for a super team, it most likely has to be 3 players. But there was a tier. Like when it was Miami, you considered it a super team, and that was LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and you probably put in that exact order. So I guess in this situation, you would probably put it Kyrie, Kawhi Leonard, and then Butler. And then you'd have Porzingis. So, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I know Kyrie has talked about being a Knick for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Even when he was back on the Cavs, he had spoke about the one place he really wants to go is New York. And, I mean, obviously, New York would take him in an instant.
Sure.
He just better be good. Because if he's not good, New York will chew him up and spit him the hell out.
But don't you think, I mean, New York, the Knicks are just sitting there.
Yeah, they got a lot of money.
They've got a lot.
Got a new coach.
Right.
Still the same damn general manager. Steve Mills survives after years and years of screwing up that team. But a big caveat for this whole entire thing is going to be James Dolan, who is the owner of the Knicks. There is rumors out there he's looking to sell the team.
Okay.
If he were to sell the Knicks and get the hell away from the Knicks and the Rangers, the Rangers have done well. But he's been the reason why a lot of the bad things have happened for the Knicks.
You seem to throw money at the team. It just seems like they've made a lot of the wrong moves, right?
He makes all the worst moves.
Yeah.
And he just keeps – if they wind up letting him sell, if James Dolan sells the team, I think that New York will turn into the destination it used to be in the 90s.
Yeah.
People would want to go there. But we need a superstar piece, and Kyrie Irving would be great for it, of course.
Could be your way. Knicks fans could be pretty jacked.
I mean, there's a lot of money. It'd be interesting to see, and then we're going to be shedding a decent amount of money in contracts when it comes after this year because we got Noah to get rid of. We've got a couple of bigger players that we've signed that we can get rid of. And the cap space like the Lakers have this year, we won't have this year. We'll have the following year. And
Lines up.
And at that point in time, that's when the cap booms.
Right.
So there's even more money there. So, I mean, it would make sense.
Lining up for the Knicks.
That's why I always said LeBron coming to the Knicks made sense.
Do super teams suck? Charles Barkley said, I would rather not win than be on a super team. He said, sports are about competition. I admire Michael Jordan for not leaving when they got beat by the Pistons every single year. He didn't pack up and say, hey, let me go play with Magic Johnson or Larry Bird.
That's his fault.
Do they suck? Do
No.
do they erode competition in the NBA? Is this ultimately good or bad for the NBA? I, being in Miami and being a Heat fan, I'll tell you, my feeling about super teams are awesome when it's your team.
Of course it is.
When you see your team not getting in that cycle or not being the destination, how long is it going to be for the Heat? Boy, I mean, we're talking about maybe who's in line right now, the teams. Lakers are trying to build it, trying to make it happen. Sixers, they've been in line. They're trying to build it, trying to make it happen. Knicks, maybe add them to the line, and they probably are quicker than the Miami Heat, to win a championship.
To win a championship, I mean, as far as super teams, I think the only super team in the NBA right now is Golden State. I don't think there's anything that's even close to it.
No.
There's no other team that would even make sense. I mean, like James Harden and CP3 teaming up, if they were to get like another big piece, if like Kevin Love would wind up going over there, you might look at that as maybe a super team because those are three big players. But
that'd be an interesting mix.
It's not a super team.
Okay.
So, I mean, right now, it's just Golden State. But this is the thing is that the older basketball players say all this crap all the time. They're saying, no, that's the way you ruin the NBA. Just because you didn't make the decision to do that doesn't mean that they are bad. Just because you did. I mean, he didn't get any rings because he stayed where he was his entire – well, I mean, he went from the Sixers to the Suns. But those two teams, and it wasn't considered a super team.
Right.
So, but I mean, that if he would have done that, he would have won. And there's some players that just, they want to win. So if they can't win with the players around them and they get an opportunity, that's the reason why Boogie took 5.3 to go play with the Golden State Warriors. And there's a report out saying the Pelicans offered him $40 million.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And he said no.
Trying to figure out what this is, yeah. And maybe even the Lakers were like, hey, you want to, and they passed on him, and boom, and he wound up where he wound up.
Yeah, that's surprising, but I guarantee you that was probably something that was on the table, and then once they signed LeBron Then they were like, the deal's not the same anymore, and he's like, all right, I'm bouncing.
It's kind of weird. It almost feels like some people are not wanting to play with LeBron. I mean, you talk about maybe Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to go to the Lakers. In fact, he wants to play in L.A. He might even go to the Clippers, they're saying.
That's a possibility.
Over the Lakers just because he doesn't want to play with LeBron. You're like, wait, what? I thought this was...
There's nobody in Clipperland, though.
I know, but apparently
he would be the guy.
He wants the market without the baggage of LeBron, whatever that might be.
I mean, it would make sense. For Kawhi, if he's willing to play and he's willing to do well for himself, his best bet right now would be to go to the East. Mm-hmm. Go to the East, go play in a team, go to the Sixers, go to the Raptors would even be, if they had a really good piece, they could be able to get over that hump. They had a great record last year, but they had playoff crap experience. So, I mean, like that's a team that he could be able to go there and lift up.
Yeah.
I mean, even Cleveland to a point. Him and Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson.
Right.
As long as Tristan Thompson doesn't leave in the third like he did his last two wives, he'll be fine.
Be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
When history looks back on Colin Kaepernick, is he going to be remembered as a hero or a heel? He has just been awarded by the National Education Association their highest honor, the President's Award.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
The President's Award.
Yeah, it is kind of ironic, isn't it?
All right.
It's in recognition of his work to fight racial oppression through education and social justice activism through his Know Your Rights camp. And I guess people that were probably critical say, hey, put your money where your mouth is. It seems like he's doing that.
He's been doing that.
Yeah, the camp aims to teach youth how to properly interact with law enforcement in various scenarios. And he said to me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the streets. It's interesting how he really is starting to turn into a hero, I would say, in a lot of people's books.
I think at this point in time, he doesn't have a choice. It's kind of what he painted himself into a corner for.
Right, absolutely.
And, I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, I will never knock the guy on how much he's actually helped the community. He really has. He's put a lot of money into it. He's put a lot of time into it. He's done a lot of talking. He's speeches all over the place and everything like that. There's just two things that bother me about him. The way he depicted police when this first thing started, wearing the pig socks and everything like that, and the fact that he decided not to vote just because he was in protest. Like, you're the biggest idiot on the planet. Voting is your biggest protest.
Right.
So, I mean, but those two things aside, he really has been very good for the community. It's just interesting that he's going to talk about interacting with police officers. They're blaming the police for everything, but then we have to have classes about how people should interact with police officers. I think it's kind of a double standard.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you want to check out this show, you can. It is on YouTube. We got the podcast as well. And you can also find us on Twitter. And one thing you want to go do, too, Palm Beach Summer Beer Fest is going to be coming up July 21st, South Florida Fairgrounds Expo Center. Wynwood Brewing was nice enough coming here today. Right here, I'm holding up one of their beers, which is absolutely fantastic, the IPAs.
Yeah.
They're going to have the La Rubio that is going to be right there, La Rubia. You're going to be able to check out. That's going to be on tap, just one of the beers they're going to have out there. So come on out, 150 plus beers going to be there. You can get your tickets right now, PalmBeachSummerBeerFest.com.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.